let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're basically unboxing a total game changer for growing businesses, the Bizmanualz HR Procedures for Employee Management book. Look, if you're in leadership or operations, you already know your employees are your absolute most important asset, right? They handle the customers, they build the products, they literally keep the lights on. But managing them properly as you scale, man, that takes serious structure. Actually, when a business starts growing fast, human resources is almost always the very first thing to crack. Communication gets messy, expectations get murky, and consistency totally out the window. So we're going to unpack exactly what's inside this highly regarded manual and see how it can completely transform your organizational structure. So if you're an executive or business owner, ask yourself this. Are you struggling right now to establish fair, consistent HR policies? And maybe more importantly, are you trying to do it without completely draining your own schedule? Building HR policies from the ground up is, well, a massive headache. Think about that blank page anxiety. Staring at a blinking cursor, trying to guess the exact legal phrasing for a paid time off policy or some workplace safety guideline. It's incredibly daunting. It's totally essential, sure, but the time it takes to draft this stuff from absolute zero, it becomes a huge bottleneck for leadership teams who already have a million other things on their plates. Well, the solution to that bottleneck is literally over 900 pages long. When you grab this product, you are not just getting some flimsy little pamphlet or a quick summary of best practices. No way. You're getting over 900 pages of expertly crafted material. That's a massive amount of foundational value packed into a sturdy hardcover book. It'll instantly become the cornerstone of your management library. It's weighty, it's comprehensive, and it covers the absolute A to Z of human resources. But it isn't just fluff for the sake of page count. It's this meticulous blend of legal compliance guidelines, industry best practices, and actionable standard operating procedures, all designed to protect and streamline your business. Okay, let's break down what's actually inside those 900 pages. First up is the number 35. That's 35 ready-to-use human resources procedures right there in the manual. And we aren't talking about vague, high-level theories here. These are actual, deployable, step-by-step procedures for handling complex HR situations. I'm talking about specific protocols, like a formal progressive discipline procedure, an FMLA leave procedure, or a comprehensive remote work policy. Having these mapped out ahead of time means your managers aren't just making up the rules on the fly when those difficult, legally sensitive situations inevitably pop up. Next number, 53. That is 53 essential HR forms ready to be deployed right now. Just think about the sheer amount of time it takes to format, review, and finalize just one single HR form. Now multiply that by 53. We're talking critical everyday operational documents. Things like FMLA request forms, formal performance review templates, detailed onboarding checklists, and offboarding docs. Having these completely structured and ready to go saves just countless hours of administrative headaches. Plus, it guarantees your company is collecting the right info in the right format every single time a process is triggered. And then there's 87. This one's absolutely crucial. The manual includes a comprehensive job descriptions guide with 87 example job descriptions. Look, if you've ever had to sit down and write a job description from scratch, you know exactly how tedious it is to get the wording, the core responsibilities, and the requirements spot on. But honestly, it's not just about saving time. It's about accuracy and protection. Proper job descriptions are vital for ADA compliance and for defining key performance indicators, or KPIs, so you can accurately measure employee performance later. With 87 examples, you get a massive head start on building out those roles legally and clearly. But moving past just the numbers for a second, what core procedures are actually inside this thing? Let's take a look at how this manual specifically ensures fair and consistent treatment across your whole company. The sheer breadth of the HR lifecycle they cover here is what makes it so robust. It starts right at square one with recruiting and hiring, making sure you're legally vetting and finding the right people. Then it flows into training and development to actually elevate those new hires. It covers employee retention strategies, which, let's be real, is absolutely critical in today's competitive job market. It gives you strict termination protocols to protect the company when things, unfortunately, just don't work out. And most importantly, it weaves compliance with federal, state, and local regulations into every single stage. So this isn't just about getting organized, it's about actively reducing business risk, avoiding those costly Department of Labor audits, and dodging devastating employee lawsuits. Now, you might be wondering, are these procedures actually any good? Well, yeah, because this manual isn't just some random collection of generic templates scraped from the internet. These documents are expertly crafted. They're written by technical writers who deeply understand corporate structure and business processes. And even better, they're meticulously reviewed by experienced SHRM professionals. If you aren't familiar, SHRM is the Society for Human Resource Management. Basically, the ultimate authority and thought leader on workplace issues today. That means every single procedure and form you roll out is backed by the ironclad credibility of top-tier industry experts. So we've covered the core procedures, but Bizmanualz didn't stop there. The true power of this product is really in the supplementary materials they provide alongside those core docs. It really creates a complete, out-of-the-box HR system. We already talked about the 53 ready-to-use forms, but check out what else is in here. You get a sample HR manager's manual. That is incredibly valuable for giving whoever is sitting in that HR seat a structured framework to operate in, even if they aren't some seasoned HR veteran. And, this is a huge bonus, it includes a completely free employee handbook. Every single company needs an employee handbook for sure. It sets your company culture, and it's literally your first line of defense in any employee dispute. Getting one pre-written and tossed into this package, that is going to seriously streamline your internal communications. Moving beyond the handbook and the forms, let's pivot back to those 87 job descriptions for a second because they're framed within something much bigger. The manual actually includes a specific guide to creating HR policies and promoting a productive workforce. So it doesn't just hand you the descriptions and walk away. It gives you the overarching philosophy and the prep work for building a highly effective team. And what does a productive workforce really mean here? It means when your employees know exactly what's expected of them, confusion drops, accountability goes up, and overall output naturally rises. This guide helps you build that exact environment. When you get right down to it, you really have two choices for structuring your business. On one hand, you can face the massive pain, the huge time drain, and the looming legal anxiety of starting from scratch. Trying to decode ever-changing compliance laws, drafting forms one by one, writing a handbook from absolute zero. Or, on the other hand, you can choose the immediate relief of having it all expertly done for you by Bizmanualz. It's like the difference between struggling to build a car engine while you're driving down the highway versus having a fully assembled, professionally tuned engine dropped right into your operations. And here is where the product gets incredibly practical. Yes, you get that fantastic hardcover book for your physical library, but this is also a downloadable, totally editable MS Word manual. You're getting time-saving Word templates. This is a massive advantage over those expensive, subscription-based HR software platforms. You're not locked into some SaaS product with endless monthly fees, and you aren't tied to proprietary software. You get the documents in a universally understood format, which means you have ultimate, permanent ownership of the files. Use them, adapt them, keep them forever. Let's walk through just how seamless this workflow actually is. Step 1 is instant download. The second you secure the product, you have immediate access to the digital files. Step 2, customize in MS Word, because obviously every company is a little different, right? So you just open these expertly crafted templates in Word, tweak them to fit your specific culture, your industry, or your local state requirements, and then just hit save. Step 3, deploy to your team. Just like that, you've got a professional, SHRM-reviewed HR policy active and enforceable in your business. It is remarkably fast and brilliantly efficient. Now, if you're sitting there with any lingering hesitation about whether this system will actually work for your specific business model, Bizmanualz basically removes that friction entirely. The product is backed by a straightforward 30-day money-back guarantee. They are supremely confident in the quality of their technical writing and the rigor of that SHRM review. So you can download the files, explore this massive 900-plus page resource, and see the value for yourself completely risk-free. Which brings us to our final takeaway. You can grab the HR Procedures for Employee Management book today for just $99. Just pause and think about that value exchange for a second. $99 for 35 core procedures, 53 forms, 87 job descriptions, an HR manager's manual, and a free employee handbook. And all of it instantly downloadable as editable Word templates with absolutely zero recurring fees. Ask yourself, how much is 100 hours of your leadership team's time actually worth? I guarantee you, it's exponentially more than $99. So go secure this manual, protect your business, and empower your employees. But I want to leave you with one critical question to consider as a leader. As your business continues to scale, will your internal foundation scale right alongside it, or will a lack of structure become the ultimate ceiling on your growth? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.